4'10", and that's really bad for a 15-year-old. When I'm walking, you'd probably think of me as like a 10-year-old. You'd probably think I was like 10 or 11. And most of my friends now, they don't get asked if they need a kids menu, but I do. I know that's not a big thing, but it just like lets me look into the public perception of me, like when I just go about my daily life.
You got a good deal on the kids menu. You're saving money.
We had to leave and move to Texas for some family issues, but back then, I've always had long hair. I had really long hair up until like 6 months ago, and when I went into high school, I said, they're gonna be really mean to me. The kids were just ruthless. Like everywhere I went, I heard people saying like, are you a boy or a girl? And they'd call me other things that I don't want to say, but I remember when I went home that day, because we were living with my cousins, I just ran to the back shed and I just cried there for a bit. My mom told my uncle about it, and he took me to this place called Whataburger, which is really good. And basically, that while I was there, he basically said it was kind of my fault for that happening, for all those kids saying me mean things. Basically saying, if you got a cool haircut, I don't really think that would happen. And, I mean, you do. Yeah, my hair didn't look the best, but I mean, I don't really think it was cool to say that. I still love my uncle, but I don't know.
What would you have wanted him to have told you there?
I don't know, that, like, just say that, like, kids are gonna be mean sometimes, and, just things will get better. Lunch was the worst part, people from across the cafeteria like, hey, are you a guy or a girl? And, stuff like that, and like it felt like the entire cafeteria was looking at me.
Maybe you should join a motorcycle gang.
I might, get my switchblade and keep cruising for a bruising.
You've got a bunch of people who care about your well-being. It's like a band of brothers kind of thing.
I already got one of those.
Talking about us?
Yeah.
Is there something behind us?
I don't like motorcycles. My mom's ex-boyfriend died on a motorcycle. I know his dad because my mom still talks to him. He's like sort of like a dad to my mom, and he's sort of like my grandfather, even though he's not.
So you would never buy a Harley?
This one kid in particular, I forget what his name was, but he was a senior. He's like, "What's up, freshie?" And he wanted to give me a handshake. I didn't know what to do, alright? So he gave me a handshake, and he just like squeezed my hand into oblivion. I legitimately thought my hand was going to break. I could see him actually struggling to squeeze my hand. Like I could see his like face getting red. Like, he was legitimately trying to like break my hand, I think. My hand hurt so bad I almost cried in the hall.
It's like a super villain origin story.
I liked this one girl like for like a couple months, and then later I found out that she liked me for like a week. And I was like, so that's a win in my book. I'm just going to be happy that somebody actually liked me once. I'm really self-conscious about my height and my voice. Because, like, this does not sound like a 15-year-old's voice.
Danny DeVito's really short and has a strange voice, and he's like a sex symbol. I think you have a legal case against CBS, because I feel like they're using elements of your life story on their hit show, Young Sheldon.
Like, I try to be funny sometimes. And I feel like if I'm not funny, then what's the purpose of, like, knowing me? Like, in a lot of my times, my jokes, they're not funny at all. Like, my jokes absolutely suck.
Tell us a joke.
That's called gotcha journalism.
They all laughed and looked at me, and I was just like, I'm not gonna deal with this anymore. I'm not gonna deal with the constant kids at my school being mean to me and everyone in general, Ever since I got there, I wanted to be homeschooled, because we had always kind of thought about homeschool, and then eventually one day we're just like, let's do it. And then I was set on it. And then a week later, no, I don't want to do homeschool, definitely not. And then a week later, yes, I do want to do homeschool, and it really just went back and forth until one day I'm like, yep, I want to do homeschool. I know my brain's going to say, no, you don't, but I'm just going to stick with this answer because I've rationalized it. And then when my mom said to pull me out of school, the principal was like, no, he's not going to do that. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And she's like, he's not going to be there tomorrow. It's his first day of homeschool. And yeah, I've never heard from that principal again, and I kind of feel bad because he was just a nice principal.
Aren't you worried that you're going to miss out on certain important life experiences from being homeschooled?
That did cross my mind, but VR is a way to escape, Like I can be a frog. Kermit was literally my childhood hero. When I was like 6, for 2 hours, I got pieces of paper and built a fully functioning Kermit puppet that I loved. And I made 2 more out of cloth. Kermit just reminds me of like me when I was like younger, happier. I don't know. I really like Kermit. I've always liked puppets and stuff like that. When I was younger, I wanted to be a puppeteer. I got an old YouTube channel of me with my puppets. There's a picture of me sitting around with all of my puppets. I don't know, I just really like Kermit. I can make friends in VR, and they might treat me a bit differently based on my voice, but they won't treat me differently based on my height, based on the way I look. It's really, I'd say, the closest form of anonymity that isn't anonymous you could get. Like, where people still know you. Kids don't know what I look like. For all they know, I am a swashbuckling bachelor,
I don't think anyone thinks that. No one on VRChat is a swashbuckling bachelor.
If you could tell everyone in the world one thing, what would it be?
If somebody hates you, stab them with an asbestos-covered knife and take out their kneecaps.
Okay, that
No
is...
wonder people don't like him very much.